ready for the world if it's ready for me.
I'm ready, y'all.
And you a lucky girl, the right passenger seat.
Right beside me, but don't you talk.
I sure hope you had time to prepare a speech.
Get your paper out and write it down.
Good evening. Welcome to Sugarcube Magazine. How are you?
We're doing good.
Fantastic. 85. Tell us who you are. Starting with.
I'm Laguardia. I am the lyricist and the vocalist.
I'm Alex. I am the percussionist.
I'm Michael. I'm the bass and synthist.
I'm Devon. I'm the guitar player, and also I write the music.
How did you come together?
Well, it started. I just contacted Laguardia on Facebook. I recently moved down to Miami. I was looking for people to collaborate with. I'd heard good things about him, and we did a track that was on my album, Kaleidoscope. And we just started working together on music since then, and we wanted to put together a band, and that's kind of when 85 started.
What's the story behind the name 85?
So I'm saying, what is that?
Alex, you want to?
Yeah, that's a good story. So one night we were all just trying to think of a name for the band. We were throwing out random things, including numbers. And I actually have a tattoo.
Can we see the tattoo?
Sure, audience and mom. It's from the movie Back to the Future. And
It's in the 80s.
yeah, that movie took place in 1985.
And everywhere else, too.
And in a lot of
At
other
that. I don't want to
eras.
think the prepositions on the camera.
And Devon has a special connection with.
I was born in
the year.
1985. Yeah.
Right.
So why not 85?
And we were trying to come up with a name that was broad enough to where it could mean anything, and it would get people asking us all the time, what is that?
85.
Yeah,
Okay. Excellent.
curiosity.
What about that Ocho Cinco guy?
I was just saying, yeah.
He's 8'5". He's 8'5". It's Spanish.
Right.
It is.
Doesn't count.
But it's different because it's English.
Yes.
Yes.
So tell us about your new project, The Dive. What's the concept behind
Well,
it?
the dive is really it's seven songs, 7 pieces, and really it's tied together by a story. It's sort of a love story, but in a sort of sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, setting. And just we wanted to create something that would draw the listener in, not just through the songs, but through that sort of story that develops over the 7 songs.
Describe your sound for me. What is that sound for 85? In particular, this album.
The sound is it is hip hop, electronic soul, a little bit of rock, a little bit of antimatter, space dust, particles from the sky.
It's expensive.
That is the sound.
A little bit of Motown.
Yes. A little bit of
A little bit of
Motown.
Motown.
Right.
It's got everything
Right.
in there. I mean, on the last project I did with LaGuardia, the first project, on Kaleidoscope, there was a lot of world music influence. And this one, it's not as overt. Like, we don't have as many ethnic instruments, sitar, tabla, that kind of stuff. But I think there's always a sort of that undercurrent of like tribal drums or pentatonic scale or that kind of stuff, polyrhythms. So there's always that African, Asian kind of influence in there.
So you mentioned that this album really told a story. What was your decision for doing that? Was it to try something different? Is that always how you work?
I think that the decision for the story, I think it came from wanting to just in general go a different direction based upon the interests that we have, which is the sci-fi. And I mean, everything that we write some way finds its way into a deep area. And I mean, and the music that he makes always makes you contemplate because of the background music, the melodies, it kind of forces you there. So whatever I'm doing, I always end up thinking harder than I need to when I'm writing to his music. So we just kind of came together, and then this story just formed. I mean, we weren't necessarily planning to eventually come out with a post-apocalyptic album, but then being in that area of 2012 is coming, what's going to happen, that's kind of when it started to form, and it just seemed like a good time to wait until after 2012 to release a post-apocalyptic album in perfect timing.
Prove it wrong.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out the title to one of the songs, and you tell me about it.
Okay.
Funeral.
Funeral is it's sort of the first chapter in the second act, and it's kind of like dealing with the new world, this post-apocalyptic world, and the character, he's feeling like his old self is gone. It's kind of like a death but a rebirth in a way, and it deals with that particular world, but outside of that could deal with any kind of struggle that anybody's going through in real life.
Take It All.
Take It All is the breakup song. It is the ignorant man who doesn't think this woman's gonna leave because she's been here for so long, she's put up with me for so long. I know she wants to argue, she'll leave, she'll be back in a week, but I'm proven so wrong in that song. And I'm saying take it all, whatever, because I'm thinking it's gonna come back. Nah. Yeah. She sure did take it all. She took it all.
She took it all.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. I'm Not Alive.
I'm Not Alive. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Not Alive is it's basically the character's now been dealing with this world where everything's changed, and he realizes that just surviving doesn't mean to be living.
What's your philosophy on music?
Philosophy on music.
That's a good question.
Ooh, that's a really good question.
That's a good
You were going to be judged forever by the answer that you give right now.
Man, that is
Right.
I think for me, my philosophy of music is that you have to find a balance between taking out what's around you, the music that's out there, and putting your own personal stamp on it, and really finding something that really expresses yourself. I think that's the most important thing, is that you have to be true to yourself.
And with that being said, what is your thoughts on the state of the music scene today?
Uh-oh.
oof.
Be honest.
May
Be
I?
absolutely honest.
You want to go? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
it gives a very narrow scope of what the world offers in music in terms of what is being pumped through the airwaves today. And unfortunately, it's driven by consumer wants and needs, and if all they have is second-rate music, then that's what they're going to pretty much have as their standard. So the airwaves are flooded with just that, second-rate, and that's it's being generous for sure.
How do you change those tastes for that consumer?
I think the sort of more positive side of the music industry is becoming more democratized because of the internet,
Right.
and that you can sort of build your own fan base just through releasing albums, getting in the right mention through interviews like this.
Yeah.
Bands used to need so much apparatus to release an album. Now, we did this album all ourselves. I mean, I produced the tracks, Laguardia wrote, Mike did the mixing. We went into a bunch of studios that we had, friends, connections. So I think if you're really smart, you can put your music out there for the an audience to see in ways that you couldn't, 10, 15 years ago.
And maybe the consumer-driven side, because of that, isn't so bad. Because if we can skip the middleman and hit them, then I think that we're okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So are we looking at a tour?
Definitely, I think definitely, and not in the immediate future, but definitely a tour is definitely the plans.
Okay. Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
This has been fantastic. And so what can we expect next? You're going to be on iTunes? When are we going to expect you on
Yes.
iTunes?
July the 7th, we'll be releasing this album in the internet world. Like every online outlet, you will see the dive.
And where can we buy the
iTunes.
album now?
Now you can wait for the album.
Black market.
You can wait. No,
pre-order.
because the way that we did it, and we will have a pre-order form too. But the way that we did it is we wanted this album release party that we did to be that exclusive listening party, and that one time that you can get a copy of the album before everybody else.
Ah,
Yeah,
sweet.
wanted to make it special.
It's like iPhone pre-sale.
Exactly right. Yeah.
And then any merchandise?
We do have shirts. So we will have, but we will be coming out with the store around that July 7th time too.
Okay.
But I mean, for any information, you can go to 85band.com.
Fantastic. Thank you. And we'll be looking forward to listening to your work.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.